Hi, and welcome to How Humans Heal. I'm Dr. Donnie Wilson, and I'm really excited to introduce you to Louise Swartswalter. And she is a beautiful brain expert. She's also the owner and founder of the Brain Soul Success Academy and the creator of the brain system. And she's here to explain to us today what all of that means. And really, I'm excited because it has to do with recovery from stress and trauma. And really, Louise, you're a brilliant visionary and inventor because you've taken all of these tools and created your own system of healing for people that you've been doing for more than 20 years. So, I mean, how special to get to talk with you today and to learn about all of this from you. So thank you for joining me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Donnie.
You're welcome. So please start. Like, what does that mean, a beautiful brain expert? What is it that you do? And even maybe even just start off with like, how did you come to that to begin with in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I lost my own brain power. My background is special education. I was a special ed teacher, so I've always been involved with the brain. I was teaching kids to read, write, and spell. I became a dyslexic therapist, so it was like private therapy for the brain. And then I got sick and I lost my own brain power. I was in my 30s after my second child was born, and I had my phone number written on a sticky note in my wallet. I mean, I had no memory. I had brain fog. I had no memory. I was allergic to everything. I lost my front teeth. I had no front teeth for 3 months. A dentist took out all my mercury fillings in one day, and I ended up with 3 different autoimmune diseases. So they said, nope, you've got fibromyalgia, you've got MS, and we think it might be lupus. And I'm like, what? And so I was on this journey of really having to heal myself, So I ended up kind of just like on this amazing journey in the whole natural health world. Medical didn't help me. They didn't know what was going on. And so, just like many of us in this field, I kind of had to crash before I came back up. And it took me about 16 years. So on that journey, I found, not just nutrition and supplements and organic food and exercise and sleep, all the lifestyle things that we all know we need to do. But I started looking at the emotions and the spiritual body. And I moved my family from Chicago to Taos, New Mexico, to an adobe house out in the middle of the desert. In Illinois, pesticides would get me so sick that I became an activist. So I worked with the mayor to sue the state of Illinois. They wanted to spray for mosquitoes over the entire state and take it out of local control hands. And thankfully, he was an environmental mayor. But I watched all the kids in my neighborhood get asthma and get sick when they were spraying the glyphosate on the lawns, right? The weed killer. And so I knew about glyphosate and the problems before there were ever lawsuits with it. And Dr. Mercola had an office in my town at the time. I became a patient and all of his patients signed our petitions. And we won. But I was on an oxygen tank then. I couldn't breathe. I was 89 pounds. I was super, super sick. But I was like this housewife teacher person on a mission to change the schools and change our community when I learned about all that. So that was the very beginning of my speaking, I mean, I would say I was kind of a shy teacher person before that. And then I just got really mad, Donnie. I was so frustrated about how much was happening in our world. And then I
sometimes it is the anger that finally motivates us for change, right?
Yes.
We see it. And we're like, this can't actually be what's happening. And it is what's happening. And you're like, okay, I'm the one who's going to have to do something about it.
Yeah. And so I didn't know that was going to happen in my life. It just did, So I ended up on this big path. And then I got really frustrated with just having to dodge these liquid bullets, honestly, because when they were spraying the lawns in my neighborhood and for mosquitoes, that's when I'd end up on an oxygen tank. I couldn't breathe. They were so toxic to me. I had so many heavy metals and mercury in my body that I had to detox over the years, So then I said, I'm out of here. I didn't want my kids breathing in anymore. So that's how we ended up in the mountains of Taos, New Mexico, where there is no grass, only sagebrush. They can't spray it.
Nothing to spray.
Okay. And we hiked in the mountains and saw double rainbows. And it was like I came to like this land of enchantment. It was amazing.
It is.
So that's how I got to New Mexico. And now I'm in Albuquerque. And so on that whole journey, I discovered that we're not just a body. We've got to heal the emotions. We've got to heal the spirit. We've got to heal the whole person. And then I even found we have an energetic field that goes all the way out to the stars or the moon, the moon or the sun. Like we're huge, really. We are energy bodies before we're physical bodies. And then I ended up in the world of energy medicine. And what I did when I created my brain system is combined it all. So on my own healing path, I had to use it on myself first. And then I opened Albuquerque Natural Health Center, first from my house and then an office. And I was there for 20 years. During COVID, that kind of like, I saw more and more people on Zoom, of course. And so I ended up selling the office, closing the office, moved my practice home, and really started more online about 8 years ago and working more with people teaching the system that I created.
It's really something. So, tell us the system because there's so much out there when it comes to helping us recover. And I love that you're also talking about like safely getting the toxins out. And that's all possible. But maybe what you're saying is that you identified where people weren't getting as much help is in sort of resetting on an emotional, spiritual, and energetic level. And is that what you would say, that your system is really more in that direction?
It's actually all. So here's what I found. It's B.R.A.I.N, B.R.A.I.N. It's an acronym that stands for B as body. And body are the pieces as a doctor. That's the detoxing pieces. That's, all the right supplements and antioxidants to release those heavy metals or whatever, or that adrenal fatigue, the adrenal support that you do, all of that. So it's not just the supplements, but it's the diet, it's getting good sleep, it's exercise. The B is the lifestyle pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that a functional medicine doctor, somebody doing that kind of work would know. But that's not complete. It doesn't help people heal, especially people with any kind of chronic or autoimmune issue. There is trauma that gets stuck in the spaces of the brain. And so I know how to dig those out. And so the R equals release the trauma and the emotions and the baggage. Often it's ancestral. It's not even yours. It's great, 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 great grandmothers or grandfathers. And we have to clear that out for people to become whole, aligned, and use their gifts in the world. So the R equals release. The A in the brain system is aligned with spirit. And so spiritual, God, whatever God means to each individual person, is always a part of healing. And then I is integrating your brain frequencies to your soul's true purpose. I think you probably find this too, Donnie. I found that people don't really heal their life the way they want to if they don't have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like their body they'll still struggle with some kind of adrenal thing if they don't have a purpose.
It's a good point. It's when we can really identify and feel that sense of purpose that we really can thrive.
Yeah. So that purpose is important. It's your why. It's your big why. Why are you doing what you do? What is that? What motivates you? So we get to that. So I clear energy blocks to get to that. And then N is the new program. And the new program piece is this high-level energy work that puts in and rewires your brain. I use a combination of frequency medicine, which is neurobiofeedback, and my system. And when you do it multidimensionally like that, it sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So what I see is so many people like going from doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor in the natural health world and not getting the results. And it's because they're not doing it simultaneously together. They go over here to their naturopath or their functional medicine doctor, over here to their chiropractor, over here to their spiritual teacher, over here to this person. And pretty soon they're trying to combine it all and it still doesn't stick. But when you do it multisensory and multidimensionally together, they get a better result and it sticks. So that's where the new program comes in.
And I see that too. I see that so many patients who even if when they come to me, if they say they might be getting one protocol from this practitioner and a different protocol from this practitioner, even if each of those practitioners is more holistic minded, like it could be an acupuncturist who's holistically looking at the body and, but still, if it's all separate, then it's hard for a person to integrate it themselves. I mean,
Yes.
people could probably do it, but it's more challenging, especially when you don't feel well. Like I always say, it's like right when you feel your worst, now you are expected to do one of the hardest things of your life, which is integrate all the healing to be successful. And I love that you're pointing that out. Like you're saying, hey, we need to find a way to get all of this to be cohesive and synergistic, it sounds like. I love the word synergy, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that word too. Yeah, absolutely. And so that's what I found because when I did all those pieces alone, it took me 16 years. I mean, I woke up at age 42 and went, wait a minute, I've been sick for a quarter of my life. That's a quarter of my life. I picture like a dollar in quarters. And when it gets a quarter of my life, I was like, that's not right. Something's got to give here, And so then I started putting all the pieces together and realizing that I could clear anxiety in a 90-minute session using the B.R.A.I.N.
And so, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. And thank you because you offered to demonstrate in this interview today with me. So I'm really excited about that because I want people to really be able to understand because sometimes the challenge with some of this like energetic work is we think if it's something we can't see that it's hard to believe that it's real or hard to understand how it works. And so what do you find with people who might have that as a question, like how to feel comfortable stepping into that work?
That's such a good question. I think it's different for everyone. And really, honestly, I do the best with demonstrating it. In fact, what we do, I don't know if is this audio and visual?
Yep.
Can I share my screen?
Oh yeah, let me see.
I was just thinking I could maybe do this. We actually take before and after pictures. Okay, because that's what really shows the difference. So let me actually find like a PowerPoint or something here. So we take before and after pictures because you'll see the face change. You'll see someone get lighter. You'll see that the stress is kind of gone. I kind of call it an energetic facelift. It's really kind of cool, actually. So this is what happens when we use the brain system. So this is McKenna before, probably about an hour and 15 minutes on stage at one of my events. I had no idea when she came up to the stage how much abuse she suffered. But if you're hearing this on a podcast, she looks very sad here. She had a lot of physical and mental abuse from her father. And the second picture, she's smiling. Her eyes look different. She's got the brightness in her eyes back. Because we cleared it at the brain soul level, at a very deep level, so it's clearing those traumas in the brain. This was at our online event. So this was after an integration, it's called, and that's the energy work in the field that literally goes 7 generations back and 7 forward. And again, what you'd see here is Craig's eyes are kind of tired and he just doesn't look as energetic or vibrant. In the second picture, he's smiling more. It's almost like the stress is gone. His eyes are brighter. He's got that twinkle back, and you can see that his stress is gone. I learned all this myself because when I was a special ed teacher, what changed those kids' brains was a multisensory approach of what you see, say, hear, write, and feel at the same time. And so B, bat, ba, T, table, ta, A, apple, N. I'm skywriting in the ear in cursive. Bat. And so we did what you see. Obviously, you see it, you feel it, you hear it, you write it. It's all multisensory. And then this light bulb went off for me and I said, hey, we're not doing that in health and healing. Why? And that's really how the brain system came to be. So it's the B.R.A.I.N. But, I was really sick. I think there's a picture somewhere. Is there a picture of me? Oh, there it is. I mean, I was dying. I was on oxygen. I don't even look like that anymore. Mom. I mean, so I just look at, that's the only picture I have. I didn't save any others, but it's not even me. So So I sort of completely transformed my own, my own life. And now I'm teaching it. And so now I teach a lot of entrepreneurs and thought leaders and business owners how to clear energy, even on their business, not just health.
Well,
Yeah.
a couple things you mentioned that I want to point out. One is addressing the trauma because, more than 61% of adults have experienced at least one adverse childhood event, let alone more than one, and then adulthood trauma. So it's something that's prevalent, and yet a lot of times we go through life without being aware of it, and definitely most people are not addressing it. And a lot of practitioners don't know how to address it. So just even to say that you're helping people to be able to compassionately and effectively release some of these trauma experiences, because we know that trauma is associated with health issues. So if we release the trauma, it because for people to me, that's so liberating to not just know that, oh, I experienced trauma, but to know I can do something to release it and move forward in my life without the negative effects of it. That's huge.
It is very much huge. And then when you have the tools and you can do it all the time. So like we cleared homes to sell and they sell in 3 days. We've cleared businesses. We clear health things, So, once you have the B.R.A.I.N. and you have those tools,
you can use many different ways. And I love what you're also saying is you use concepts from as a teacher, as what you use in special education, learning to speak, learning to read. You use those concepts in your healing system. And it makes so much sense. Like, why don't we use what we know about the human brain for learning? Let's use it for healing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was really a light bulb moment for me because I saw that, wait a minute, here's this child, he's coming in and in 6 months, he's jumping 2 grade levels in reading because I am teaching him using this multi-dimensional system. And so it gets the results faster. I wanted to heal faster. And then when I started seeing, my patients in my clinic, I wanted them to heal faster. We always want faster results. No one wants to stay sick or imbalanced or, whatever it is for a long time. So it's always looking for like a faster way. My joke right now is if I could wave a magic wand and it would be faster, I would do that.
I know. I'm always like, let's just do it. What's the most efficient way to get this to happen, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's why take the long road if there's a short road that actually works. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm really excited to open enrollment in my new 14-day detox program. It's based on my experience spending 16 days in the Amazon. And I realized I really want to be able to support all of you to safely and effectively detox from home. The 14-day detox includes a kit with protein powder, including antioxidants to support liver detoxification, as well as an anti-inflammatory diet plan, daily videos and tips from me, as well as my self-care notebook, and lots of encouragement to spend time in nature to reset your circadian rhythm. I want you to be able to detox your mind, body, and spirit so you can get back to balance and move forward in your life with resilience. I can't wait for you to join me in this transformational process. So, what do you think? Should we?
Yeah, let's dive in. Let's dive in and show this. So like if I was going to do a brain system session for you, and let's say you're our demo person, you're our surrogate. I want you to guys think, Donnie, about your audience here. What would they want to have, or what would you want to have change or be different? So I start with some questions. I'm going to ask you questions. And then we're going to clear some of the trauma coming up or the emotions that are in the way of that goal. Okay. And that intention. So really, we're going to get the intention first. So the very first question would be, what do you want to have change or be different?
And usually it would be something about my health or
your health or your the people you work with who have, stress. I know you do a lot of stress resetting,
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm thinking like, I'm trying to think of how to put the words on it. I guess for me, it's, and I don't know how this fits for you.
Okay.
It matches, but I'm thinking along the lines of like recently I'm so because I'm also a dancer. I do ballroom dancing, and
Uh-huh.
and I have part of my health issue is in my joints and my posture. So I think that's
Yeah.
why dance is such an important medicine for me. But it's
Mhm.
helped me become aware that the more I become aware of my posture and intentional about my posture, the more it
Mhm.
helps my health and the more it helps, me feel good every day. But I then
Okay.
realized, like, I think that so much of the time, I'm sure it's not just me, where we get disconnected from our bodies and we get disconnected from where is my body in space and my position? Because, like right now, I'm at a standing desk, for example, because I find that if I'm standing, it's way
Okay.
better for my, I'm and less likely to end up with a neck pain, for example, or, it's just, I find that I just feel better when I'm standing. But to
Okay.
just understand that more, like, how can we, for myself, it would be how can I learn more about the posture that's going to be optimal for me as a going through my day, and
Okay.
and maybe for others too. Like, what is that connection from their in their body posture experience, and how to release anything that might be preventing that or inhibiting that.
That's awesome. Okay, so here's what I just got and just wrote. I'm connected to my body and I know my optimal posture,
I love that.
right? So
Mhm.
if you were connected to your body and you know your optimal posture, what would you be doing differently then than you are now?
Hmm. What would I be? Well, right away I start going. Oh, I think I need to shift my pelvis and my shoulders and take
Okay.
take a deep breath. Just bring my attention back into my body for even for a minute.
Okay. So I shift my pelvis, my shoulders, breathe, and what was that next bit? Pay attention to my posture. So you're paying more attention to it. Yeah. Does make a difference when we pay attention, doesn't it? So if you're shifting your pelvis, your shoulders, you're breathing now, you're paying attention to your posture and you're connected to your body and you know your optimal posture. I'm asking questions and I'm muscle testing. So how would that make you feel if those things are happening?
It feels lighter. It
Okay.
feels uh, like just easier. Like it's amazing how when there's posture alignment, everything just feels easier.
Okay. So I'd feel lighter, easier. And if you're feeling lighter and easier and you're paying attention to your posture, connected to your body and your optimal posture, what would you tell yourself then you're not telling yourself now?
Mm, let's see. I think I would say probably some. I'm thinking along the lines of I'm stronger than I think I might be, like physically
Mhm.
stronger. Maybe I'm more able to do things that I didn't know I could do. Um,
Okay, awesome. So I tell myself I'm stronger than I think I am. I'm able to do things I didn't know I could do. And these will fit for everyone listening here, right? So fill in your own like beginning part. Maybe you are wanting to be more connected to your body, and maybe it is about posture for you, or maybe it's a different kind of connection. But you might still be telling yourself you're lighter and you're easier, and you're telling yourself, I'm stronger than I think I am. I'm able to do things that I didn't know I can do. What's the next question? Allowing. So if all those things are happening, what would you be allowing then that you're not allowing now?
hmm, that's a good question. Let's see. I like that allowing it. To me, it means like just allowing things to be the way they are. Like
Okay.
if that makes sense. Whatever it is, the day, the weather, the whatever's going on around me, just sort of more allowance of whatever it is okay.
Okay? Do you see where that's taking the judgment away?
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't realize how much our self-talk is a part of everything. So if you could tell yourself you're stronger, right? You allow things to be the way they are. You allow what is. Yeah. And so what we did is we walk the goal down and then I take the bottom line goal. I allow what is, and that you're connected to your body. You're feeling lighter. You're aware of your posture and things are easier. And I put all that in a box. So actually, if you get to see this paper, I'm just drawing a box, okay, on the paper with a bunch of words here. And all of those intentions or goals. And then I say, all right, who or what is taking Donnie away from allowing what is connected to her body, right? Feeling lighter, having that good posture, feeling this easier kind of flow of things. And then I just muscle test how many strings. And so this is an intuitive process. And honestly, I can teach this. I didn't know I could teach it, but my people, when I started doing this, asked me, hey, we want to learn that. And so this was about maybe 8 or 9 years ago. I was like, okay, let's play with this. And so I get that there's 3 strings. Now that means there's 3 people or situations pulling you away from having that bottom line goal, from having that good posture, right? Connected to your body, things flowing easier, and allowing what is. And then I just test, is this a male, a female, or a situation? There's a female in your field. Is it you? Is it someone else? It's someone else. Is this a client? Yes. Family. No, it's a client. Somebody that you saw, or a client or patient that you saw this week? Last week. So this is a female patient that you might have seen last week. So we're all energy. We can get other people's stuff attached to us. And especially as a practitioner, you're working closely with people, some of their pains or their imbalances could become like attached to you like Velcro. And then you feel it and then you can't get it off of you. Yeah. That's all we're doing here. Okay. We're clearing energy. Okay. Allowing you to become back in alignment to be your soul's truth. So this is a female patient. You might be thinking of somebody it's a week ago. And you don't have to tell them names or anything, but if you're thinking of anybody, and then I use words. So I have cheat sheets of words and I muscle test the words that are connected to this person. And so I get the words of 2 minds. And so it's the power of the spoken word of the truth will set you free. BC1. So of 2 minds and ruthless, unprotected, emotional withholding, I would say that 90% of people's pains are emotional. Yeah. Not that we can't break our leg or our foot or something, that's a physical thing and we need help. That's true. But other things, this is stealing. So then what we say, and these words came from John 10:10 in the Bible. Was that a liar, thief, or fraud on you allowing what is being connected to your body, feeling lighter and easier? And I get that it's a thief. And then we say, what did it do? Did it kill, steal, or destroy something for you? And it gets the word steal. Now, again, those came from John 10:10 in the Bible. So they're clearing the soul level of the block of that. And so those words are important. They could be connected to that patient, but for anyone listening, they could be connected to someone else, to your sister, to your mother, to yourself. And after listening, some of you will also feel lighter. Okay, so it's a thief, and then we're going to reclaim the reclaiming words. So it's stealing your love. So we're reclaiming love, comfort, love, comfort, enlightenment, and ease. Ease of flow and wellness. Awesome. Good and bad, right, wrong, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. That's just a clearing statement. Okay, to clear up any other energy. Now I'm curious, since this is about you being connected to your body and having optimal posture, can we ask if there's a situation, person, place, or situation that affected your optimal posture and that connection to your body? Yes. Is it something in your childhood? Yes. Is it an ancestral thing? No. Something age 0 through 5, 5 through 10, 5, 6. Were you age 6? Were you age 7? So this is Donnie when she was 6. So is this age 6 yourself or with somebody else? Somebody else. Was it with a parent? With your mom? With your dad? What do you remember about your dad when you were 6?
Let's see, 6 is about first grade, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think in something that might have been affecting my physical health or
It could be affecting your dad. Like you're 6. So here's what could happen. It may not be. So let's just even ask, is this your stuff or your dad's stuff? You took on your dad's stuff at that time. So they could have come home from work having a bad day. I mean, it could be something so simple. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, I can remember I moved a lot when I was a child. So usually when I remember my childhood, I go based on what house did I live in at that age. So I
Okay.
remember the house that I lived in when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
And there was always, a lot going on in my family because my father was a businessman. So he ran a pharmacy. So he was always busy with running the pharmacy. And there was also always a lot going on in our house, whether it was, landscaping or I'm trying to think around that time I'm trying to think that's when I lived in Portland, Oregon. So that's when Mount St. Helens erupted
Oh,
around that
okay.
time. So I don't know exactly, but I'm just trying to kind of think of what would have been relevant at that time. Um, of like, I remember different landscaping projects at the house, and I remember we could actually see Mount St. Helens from our back deck, and the ash on everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
Okay,
don't know
let's
what it
find out.
was, but Mhm.
Yeah, let's find out. So was it Portland, Oregon? Was it the Mount St. Helens thing? Was it something with your dad? Something with your dad? I got burdened and suffering. So is it burden and suffering just running the pharmacy? Are there other words we need to name? Yes. How many? 1, 2, 3. 3 other words. Here, here, here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Demoralized. You have demoralized in your joints. No. In somewhere else, nervous system. We're going to release demoralized in your nervous system. Easy releasing demoralized in your nervous system. Easy releasing demoralized in your nervous system. Is it still there after? Yes, since you were 6. Easy releasing demoralized in your nervous system. Easy releasing demoralized in your nervous system. Suffering, burden, demoralized. What else is on your dad at that time? Here, 1, 2, 3. Paranoia. So he probably had fear. Maybe just fear of running the business, just stuck with business, maybe. So is there all those words? Did I name them all? Yes. Is there something else? No. This is a liar, thief, and a fraud, and you having, this connection to your body, feeling lighter and easier, feeling stealing. So what did it steal? And so your peace, your strength, acceptance, fulfillment, and protection. Is there another word? No. Do I need to release that paranoia with the rock missing? Yes. Is that still in Donnie's field? Yes. Is it in your field? Is it in your body? It's in your body. Is it in a specific part? Is it in your joints? Oh, I'm so curious to see what happened here. Okay, so that paranoia is an energy or an entity that was attached to your dad at that time. It was in his energy field. Could have come from work, could have come from anything, could have come from him worried about his family with Mount St. Helen and the ash, anything. But it's still sort of playing a song in the energy field. Okay. And because you're an energy body, for you, it may have gotten stuck in your joints, but it really is in the joints, like way out there in the field, you know? But we're still going to release it. So that paranoia is no longer allowed anywhere near your physical body, in your joints, any in your joints, your nervous system, your glands, your whole body, anything having to do with your movement, right? For dance. We release that paranoia now. We command let it go now. It must leave you, your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual body, and all space, time, and dimension. And your dad. Do we have permission? Yes. And your dad. Dad's still living? Okay, even in heaven. Okay, so we're just going to release it from dad too. So get out now in the name of God, in the name of Jesus, in the name of your higher power. We command that it go now and go to the light. Get out now. Rakma. Awesome. Yeah. Did you feel that, Donnie?
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting is I feel sometimes as you're doing this, my joints kind of moving a little bit.
Do you? Okay. Yeah. Your whole face just changed. That paranoia was an entity was hanging out since you were 6. All right. I'm going to have you tap your belly button 8 times. So just kind of tap your belly button 8 times.
Okay.
Did we successfully release that? We did. Is there another string? Person, place, situation. Yep. It's a situation. Situation having to do with which one of these here? It's about telling yourself you're stronger. So what's the situation about your self-talk and telling yourself you're stronger? Is it recent or old? It's an old situation. Is it also when you were a kid? No. Is it before you were born? Yes. Is this grandmother's? Grandfather's. Grandfather on mom's side? Grandfather on dad's side. You seem to be doing your dad's side today. So this is did you know your grandfather on dad's side?
He was alive until I was a couple years old. So I remember him a little bit.
A little bit. Okay, let's see. Is this mostly his stuff? His and your stuff? No? Is it more ancestral even than that? Wow. Is it 1, 2, 3? It's 4 generations back on your dad's side. So it could be great, 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 like grandpa. 1, 2, 3 words, 3 words. Here, here. Rigidity? Rigidity. Rigidity and old shame. I feel like we all have like old shame. Kind of like Brene Brown's work way back there, in the energy field from our grandparents. And unprotected shame, rigidity. What else is here? Here, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of like mistrust, but it's not mistrust. Is it another word like that? Is it on my sheet? Here, 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 here. No. Column A, column B, 1, 2. Hopelessness. And creative insecurity. An old shock. One of my teachers said we always have to clear the shock for people to heal. That there's always buried shock.
That's very true. Shock, that's the thing we don't talk about it very much, but it's so important when what we experience when something shocks us, right?
Yes, absolutely. And, I even think of like everyone's birth, even if it was a beautiful birth, is still a shock. All of a sudden you're out of the womb and you're in the air, in the environment, this. Yeah. So it's still your love, your comfort to have, your security, your protection, your safety, your endurance, and your letting go. So good. I destroy and uncreate any judgments, assumptions, projections, conclusions, decisions about the situation 4 generations back on your dad's side. Any of the emotions or energy that were in the field there, we release it now, let it go, allow you to be free, to honor what is, right? To be connected to your body, to have that optimal posture, to feel lighter and easier, and to allow things to be the way they are and allow what is. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, long line shorts, boys and beyonds. And I'm just going to have you tap the bottom of your foot. So we're just going to take like an open hand and hit the bottom of your foot. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Excellent. Is there any other strengths, person, places, or situations that we need to clear on these goals here for Donnie? No, do we get it? Yes. Okay. Let me kind of check in. So that's like the releasing part of the brain system, right? We release the old stuff. And you may or may not feel something right away. Everyone processes differently. But let me kind of check in. How are you feeling after we did that piece, that process? You feel fine? Feel fine? Do you feel lighter than when we started?
I would say there's something that feels, there's some maybe energetically lighter, I guess I would say.
Energetically lighter? Okay. And then the next part is putting in the new program. And the new program is energy work that has to do with codes and numbers. So math is the universal language. So these success codes were given to me by my teacher. And honestly, they're like, think of it as acupuncture points, but in the energy field. So you're going to hear me circle my hand around different parts of your body, releasing stress and rebooting you with these goals and intentions. So the first part of this is just to say them. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to have you say these. So say, I am connected to my body.
I am connected to my body.
And I know my optimal posture.
And I know my optimal posture.
I shift my pelvis.
I shift my pelvis.
My shoulders.
My shoulders.
I'm breathing.
And breathing.
And I pay attention to my posture.
And I pay attention to my posture.
Good. I feel lighter and easier.
I feel lighter and easier.
I tell myself I'm stronger.
I tell myself I'm stronger.
And I think I am.
And I think I am.
I'm able to do things I didn't know I can do.
I'm able to do things I didn't know I'm able to do.
Good. I allow things to be the way they are.
I allow things to be the way they are.
And I allow what is.
And I allow what is.
Okay. And then you're going to hear me do these circles and these numbers, right? So you're going to hear numbers, but I'm circling around your left leg. It's like I'm going down your left leg. And these are called positive points and they clear stress. 2, 3, love. 5, 3, forgiveness. 6, 5, choice. 9, 2, freedom. 4, 2, greater love. And I'm coming down your front. 4, 2. Donnie, say, I have positive self-worth.
I have positive self-worth.
Good. 2, 2. Say, I choose to succeed.
I choose to succeed.
4, 4. I choose to live in joy.
I choose to live in joy.
And 6, 2. I choose to live by the higher laws.
I choose to live by the higher laws.
Good. And then 1, 4, 7 is on your back side. And I'm going to have you look at my X. So I'm just going to make an X. 4, 5. These have to do with the rings around the brain. So they have to do with like ancestral programs. 9, 6 is the consciousness ring. 9, 6 is the cranial ring. 8, 6 is the hearing ring. I'm going on your left knee now. 6, 8 is the seeing ring. They're the rings around the brain that we're rebalancing. So we're literally rebalancing the brain in the energy field. So 4, 5, 8, 6, 4, 6, 9, 4, 6, 7, releasing trauma, 10, 5, 7, 8, 2, 8, 7, 7, 5, and the shock, 1, 2, 3, placing with peace, 5, 2, 5 to 11, 37, complete cycles, 87,357 times, 2 to 4, 23 times, and then 2 to 4, 2,623 times. That's emotional vibration reset. 375, 377, 469, 467, and then 67, 67, 67, 67, 67, 67. Awesome. Cool. You're like, what just happened?
A lot of stuff.
I know. Hillary Boots, and what we can see, and I don't know if you can see it too, is I see your whole face change. So like you're lighter. When you watch this later, you'll see. So then I say, have you say those bottom ones again. So say, I allow things to be the way they are.
I allow things to be the way they are.
Good. And I allow what is.
And I allow what is.
Okay. And then we're going to lock those goals in. So the way we lock them in is to put your hands together above your head. And if I'm there, I'm going to try to pull down and you're just going to resist me. Okay. And then cone your fingers on your right hand. Like make a little wand with your fingers. And then make a circle in front of your heart and say 2-2.
2-2.
I choose to succeed.
I choose to succeed.
And then tap your belly button 8 times. And that is a lock that locks in that little process, that whole thing we just did to kind of lock it into the energy field and lock it into your body. Cool.
Wow. And then that's it.
Yeah. And then usually there's like homework. So what I would give you for homework is something called Mind Gems. That is, it actually balances those rings around the brain. And they're handheld positions. Like one of them is just your hand on top of your head. And then we switch. Another one balances polarity. So it's the right hand on the left shoulder, left hand on the right shoulder. We hold that for 12 seconds and then we switch. And so they take about 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes to do them. And they help you kind of process what we just did because we went 4 generations back on your dad's side and also to age 6. So there's a processing time in the same way that I know you've done a lot of the ayahuasca. There's a processing time. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting. And as you mentioned, one of the things you and I were so curious about is for me to, share with you what it's like to be in a shamanic ceremony and using a psychedelic substance like ayahuasca. And because it's has such an amazing capability to help humans heal from trauma in this life and other lifetimes of trauma, so that it's an interesting crossover, right? Of like
yes,
different mechanisms or tools we can use because it's really with this same intention of, wow, what if we could release things not just even in our lifetime, but in generations back?
Right.
How does that have to shift our current experience? And what I'm curious when you what do people who either work with you one-on-one or in your I know you do online sessions too, group sessions. What do people report? Like I'm wondering and thinking that listeners might want to, what do people
Yeah, absolutely. Like Leslie came in kind of with an accident, traumatic brain injury, burnt surgical nurse working 12 hours a day. So the first step in her piece was getting her brain back. So within about 3 months, her brain is working again. It always takes me 3 months. Usually that should take years, right? But it's because I'm doing the B.R.A.I.N. And I'm using
something you're doing just once or you're doing it multiple times with her?
No, it's layers. So we probably did 6 or 7 sessions and then she started learning the system.
Okay.
And then when she learned the system and applied it in her life, she retired, got married, created 3 streams of income. It is life transformation that happens with this. It is not just clearing energy and then you're lighter or a little bit better. That can happen from what you and I just did here. But even this is life transformational. I have a doctor who is finally worthy, had a lot of childhood wounds, done all the therapy, and even been to a pastor for 9 months. And within a year, his whole life has changed. His family has changed. His communication with his family has changed. He's starting a healing center now. He's moved more into the natural health kind of area. He's a healer himself. He knew that even a doctor that a lot of the chronic care is missing the emotional piece. So learning all this, he said, and he cried at our event and I cried with so we were crying because he said, I'm finally feeling worthy. It's taken over 50 years and I've been looking for this. So it is life transformation.
People usually find something they weren't expecting, it sounds like. They were like,
yes,
I'm just trying to get out of pain maybe or disappointment in my life, and then they end up and this is a thing I find like with work with psychedelic therapy is like it's like you can have kind of an intention when you go into it, but then it has this ripple effect where it starts shifting things and you don't even have to try, right? It's not I didn't try to do anything while you were doing this with me, and I'm sure these people too, like there's no effort. It's just you're just being and allowing, and then this transformation starts to happen in front of you.
Yes. And it's because we are clearing those deeper traumas and we're clearing them at the brain soul level. The other piece that's different that they're not doing enough of anywhere is they're not rewiring right after. When we rewire and did those circles and we're saying, okay, this goes 7 generations back and 7 forward. So when you do the full integrations that have to do with the movement and the codes, it literally reboots every lobe of your brain. So it's the energy work piece of the brain that's missing in all the brain work. You've got to work with the brain and the energy field, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritual, and field at the same time for it to stick.
Wow.
Otherwise, it doesn't feel like it sticks. And yes, just like with the ayahuasca, there's layers, you know? It's like an onion skin peeling. But what I know is we can clear anything, and then when you know you can do that. So like my doctor said, oh yeah, our bags were missing. My son's here, but his bags didn't get on the airplane. So we'll just have to clear it. Like I cleared Southwest Airlines and our plane showed up. I mean, you can clear energy on anything. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then right away you start to see things start to come back into flow again.
And stuff starts to come back into flow again. So when we cleared Karen's house to sell, 3 days later, 2 cash offers.
Amazing.
And then in groups, it's really fun in groups, Donnie. It's awesome in groups. Because I never know what's going to happen with a group, until I start clearing the group. We'll do a whole group goal together and we'll clear a group and people will be like, oh my gosh, that was my mom when I was 7. That was so for me. And oh my gosh, I'm sleeping so much different. And guess what just happened? I just got a new car, or whatever, like they'll just start sharing stuff. And it's really magical. It's really cool.
So tell us, like, for anyone listening who wants to know more about like being able to access your system and get help from you, what's the best way? Where should people go?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to my website, louiseswartswalter.com, and there is a brain soul assessment. And the assessment is just an opportunity really for us to take a look at what your biggest block is. And then what's your sort of next best move or path to take on that. So it's an opportunity to talk with me about that. And I love, love, love meeting people. My joke is if you could create something that why we wouldn't have to sleep, I would just meet people all day. I know we need that. That's a real lifestyle skill that I'm, make sure I have. But I really just love this. I love talking with you and getting to know you. And, thank you too for having me on this podcast. It was a delight to interview you as well and learn. I love this. I could do this all day.
Well, and you were talking about purpose before, this is your purpose to share with people. And it's a beautiful thing when it inspires you, and it's helping people. I mean, what better than that? But I think a lot of times we're not used to seeing that in our world. We're not necessarily used to seeing people loving what they do and living their purpose. And so, if people, what would you say if someone's like, this just seems, it's hard for them to even understand it because they're not used to that authenticity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, I guess. I love to help people find that purpose. I would say that, one of my taglines sort of is I allow your gifts to shine. And one of my teachers said, if you're not using your gift in the world, you're dishonoring God. And I never forgot that. Yeah, she's the one that taught me all those codes. And I'm like, wow, she's brilliant. She's like the most connected to God person I ever met on the planet, ever. And I still am in awe of that. And I use that work every day and I teach it now, but I'm still in awe of it. But yeah, I just did an amazing session with a lady who is so unclear, so brilliant and so not clear. And we got down to clarity about blending her gifts and what she really wants to see herself do in the world. And just like you, when we walk down the goals, we walk down her goals, we clear the energy and have her moving forward. So it's a blend of her gifts.
Yeah.
To get her gifts in a business model out there. She's owned other businesses. Now she's transitioning.
And that's the beautiful thing is that just this concept of transitioning and transformation that, that just alone tells us we don't have to be stuck. Things don't have to be stuck the way they are. Like, because I think
Yes.
sometimes people feel like they're going to give up or feel hopeless because they're like, oh, they've felt this way for so long, or they've tried things and it didn't work. And so you kind of give up on the idea. But what you're sharing is like, wow, this is such an opportunity where you're seeing people actually embrace transition, embrace transformation, and really and it's transforming themselves into being more themselves.
Yes. I always call it 100% your soul's truth. So I believe, especially as an entrepreneur, if you're in a place where you're stuck, that's just a place where you are going to up level. It's a transition because the old stuff has to spin out for you now to embrace the new. So it's actually an opportunity to use this kind of work to really like shift that energy now and go, all right, what's the next little piece for me? Where am I supposed to be with this? Maybe you're niching down. Maybe it's another like creative avenue that's related to what you're currently doing. But you're just in the place of transitioning to it. Well, all that means is there's a stuck block again. And it's not, once you have the tools, it's really not hard to, it's easy to use and to clear it. So you can move up to that next new place. I hear people all the time, oh, I don't have enough clients, or oh, this is happening, or, that's happening, or I want to make more, I want to help people more, or I want to make more money. Well, we just clear the energy on whatever that is.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm so glad you're here sharing it with us. And I'm so happy that you discovered this. It's really so powerful. I can feel and experience the power already myself. I can't wait to see what I notice in the
Me too.
Yes. I'll definitely.
Let me know.
Okay. And it's such a joy to get to talk to you. And I'll definitely be sure to share your Brain Soul Success Assessment and the link to your website so everyone can come and learn more from you. And because I know you help people from wherever in the world, right? That nobody.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really, I started out locally, 25 years ago as Albuquerque Natural Health Center. That's what I did, and that's how I actually practiced all this and learned it, was on all my people. Really, in a sense, they were my guinea pigs, but I didn't know that then. It was just so fun. It was just fun. And now it's just evolved. So yeah, people all over the world now.
And that's the thing is like, to some degree, the pandemic kind of allowed us to open up and say, hey, we don't have to be limited by space and time. We can be anywhere, anytime and help each other. So that's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's awesome. And, we're both here doing similar work. We want to help people in any way that we can, and you have those beautiful protocols for stress that you do too. And I do the brain system. So it's just a different avenue to get the results, so we're looking for results for people.
And I see how it works together, because right, like as much as we can align all our hormones and metabolism and nutrients but if we're not addressing the trauma level and that energetic level, then that can even prevent you from feeling better, even if everything else is balanced. So it's like, okay, if a person listening is like, I've been eating well, I've been doing all the things, but I still feel like something's unresolved, then it's like, okay, we need to consider this other level, this other way of addressing it to open up whatever.
Yes, that's what I found yes. Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool.
All right, well, thanks again so much for joining me today, Louise, and I look forward to staying in touch with you.
Yes, absolutely. I want to hear how you're doing. Very cool. Awesome. So have a great day, everyone. Hey, and remember, I always end with this. Follow your heart, but take your brain with you.
Don't forget your brain and your heart. Oh my God, I love it.
Thanks for listening to How Humans Heal. If you liked this episode, leave a rating and a review. And for more resources, visit drdonnie.com.